the Cailleach mountain. And there are Cailleachs on many mountains. There are stories or place names or related material, Ben Nevis, Ben Cruachan, Ben Withis, Ben Lomond, Loch Nagar, all over the place. Because this idea of the feminine force, this idea of the world being run by an essentially female power, is rooted in everything. But it's not just with the mountains. So I'm going to tell you a story I only heard a few years ago. It was passed down for generations beyond counting in Ardnamurchan and Mull and latterly Skye. And this involves a particular Cailleach, because the stories, and you should always remember that stories belong where they're told. They might be drawing from the same well, as it were, but every story grows up where it is told and is part of the culture of the community of that story. And it belongs to them, and it doesn't matter where it came from, it is theirs. And this story is an example of one of these tales, but it involves quite a lot of Scotland. And it's about a Cailleach, and of course the Cailleach in the story, she's a giant. And I don't mean she's that size. She is a true giant. And in some cases, as the stories have come down to us, she's got one leg, and one eye, and one tooth. And a little bit of a fearsome character. Also, in some of the stories, she's a little bit coarse, or coarse as we'd say in Scots. We'll come back to that later too. But this particular Cailleach was from somewhere up the west coast, probably Skye, though not necessarily. And of course, she was a great giant creature, and she developed this habit that about slightly before this time of the year, at the back end of the hearse, she was coming down and visiting Ulster. And she was visiting Ulster on the rock. She was coming down and nicking everything she got her hands on: cattle, sheep, butter, bread, anything. And every year she'd come down and she'd swoop this all up and she'd go away. And she was leaving people barely enough to survive on. And after a few years of this, you can imagine they were getting a wee bit fed up and they didn't know what to do. How do you deal with an absolute massive, all-powerful giant? How do you do that? So they did, as sensible people would do back in the day. They went and asked the fairies. Because fairies know an awful lot. They might not tell you an awful lot, but they do know an awful lot. And they went to the fairies, and the local fairies, and Ulster said, don't want anything to do with her. She said, no, not the Cailleach. But they said, please, you've got to help us, we've got to stop her somehow. Well, maybe, So they got in touch with their cousins, the fairies in Ayrshire, who, well, if you ever been in Ayrshire, you'll know they were even flyer than the fairies in Ulster. And so they went to the fairies and they said, look, can you help? They said, well, okay, we'll think about it, right? So they had a big convocation of fairies and they discussed what they should do. And what they did was they said, well, we've got to look at how she gets here. And the way she came down, remember how big she is. She ran down the west coast and she'd come running down, and when she got to the Mull of Kintyre, she was running, she went 1 foot on Mull of Kintyre and then a foot on Ailsa Craig, and then whoa, she jumped and landed in Ulster. Okay. This was well known. People have obviously been seen her do it for years and years and years and years. And one particularly wise old fairy, a woman of course, said, I know what to do. So what was said to Ulster from Ayrshire said, we're wanting all your butter. What? Butter? We need all the butter you can get. Are you kidding? No. Tell them to give us all the butter. So the people of Ulster got all the butter they could, loaded it in the ships, sailed it over to Ayrshire, where they were met by the fairies of Ayrshire. And they chose their time. They knew the time of the year that the Cailleach was coming because all of the crops were in. The cattle were all ready to be slaughtered for winter. She'd be on her way. So what they did was they got boats and they rowed out to Ailsa Craig. that great rock that stands in the Firth of Forth, and they covered it with butter. About that thick, all over. And then they sailed back to Ayrshire to wait and see what happened. And sure enough, a couple of days later, down comes herself, charging down, singing an old song to herself. And she comes down and she gets one foot on the mull of Kintyre, and she leaps. And she gets her left foot onto Ailsa Craig. And of course she goes way up in the air and boom! She falls on her back on the mull of Kintyre. But she's fallen with such a thump that she bounces up and out and into the ocean. And she falls down into the ocean, winded, covered up with her water. And of course the Cailleach, as the oldest creature and as a giant, was an incredibly powerful being, but she wasn't as powerful as the Atlantic Ocean, which is one of the greatest power on the whole earth. And so, if you go out there to this day, you take a boat from the south, round about Camden Town, and you sail around and you go up, what you find is you come to Islay, and that's a little bit for the Cailleach. And then you come to Jura, and you'll see the parts of Jura sticking up, and that's part of the Cailleach. And she had 3 breasts because she could do what she liked. And then you get a little bit further north, and you come to the Islay and Scarba. And the Islay and Scarba is her nose. And between Scarba and Jura is the Corryvrechan Whirpool, the 3rd biggest whirlpool on this planet. And that is the breathing of the Cailleach to this day.